Hey, recording another video while my previously gets uploaded to YouTube. This hand is pretty good. Yeah, 1:30 a.m. I'm gonna try to do a better job of talking through my plays than I have in the past, but no guarantees since it's kind of early in the morning or late at night. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to be doing a better job of talking through my plays than previously. Sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, this hand has acceleration, a welding chart for the Steel Overseer, a Steel Overseer to threaten damage. Hand is quite good. Cavern of Souls. I'm good against Cavern of Souls decks. This hand is very good against humans in general. I think a Reflector Mage is the biggest thing I have to worry about. If he doesn't have a Reflector Mage, his odds of winning are quite low. Ether Vial... Oh, no, not that. Yeah. We'll see. This should be a good game. And by good, I mean easy to win, I think. So this is probably either Thalia, Kitesail Freebooter. Okay, Thalia doesn't matter. Definitely going to play the Overseer over the Ravager. He has nothing he can violate to punish the Vault Scourge. Might as well attack with Vault Scourge first. Doesn't really matter in any way whether I attack with Vault Scourge or Steel Overseer first, given the options he has for Vial. But, hey, why not? I've noticed that in a lot of my more recent videos I've been playing fairly loose. I want to try to tighten up my play while I'm recording and playing in general. There's a very big difference between when you're playing on camera versus playing in person or just for competition. The more time I spend talking, the less time I spend thinking, basically, because I'm not good at multitasking. Okay. So anyways, my biggest worry is that my opponent plays a Reflector Mage this turn, bouncing the Steel Overseer, and then bounces, just, you know, applies a lot of pressure while I'm unable to get the Steel Overseer to stick in play. Thalia's Lieutenant, this is relatively unthreatening. He's filing in a second Thalia's Lieutenant. So his guys are going to get pretty big. But while his guys are big, I still have the Vault Scourge. That's going to be getting large. 9 damage. This leaves me extremely vulnerable to Reflector Mage. I think I'm probably losing if he has Reflector Mage because he's taking up Vial. Do I attack here? So 9. The reason I play Cranial Plating, by the way, is because if I can manage to get a plated Vault Scourge hit in, I'm pretty high percentage to win. I don't have reasonable expectations of having a turn where I can cast the cranial plating and equip at the same time, since I'm not guaranteed to draw land next turn. So plating has highest upside. Daniel is beginning to talk in not fully coherent thoughts while trying to think. So if he vials in Reflector Mage and reflectors the Vault Scourge, I'm dead. How much damage am I doing next turn? Assuming no blocks and no Reflector Mage, I'm doing roughly 5 plus 9. 5 plus 9. 14. Do not have lethal if I attack this turn. Okay. Taking a more defensive line. This way I might be able to survive through a Reflector Mage or a Mantis Rider. Or like another Thalia's Lieutenant or something. Reflector Mage is the big danger. Because if he Reflector Mages the Vault Scourge, then I don't gain life, and I don't think I can get my things quite big enough to outpace the Thalia's Lieutenant growth rate. Assuming he has a bunch of humans in hand, which is a safe assumption. My current idea is that I block Vault Scourge on the bigger Thalia's Lieutenant and Welding Jar it, which gains me some life and blocks a bunch of damage. I left the Ornithopter back to block just in case he has Mantis Rider but not Reflector Mage, because that would also present a large clock, but I would be able to double lock Ornithopter Vault Scourge on the Mantis Rider and then use Welding Jar to keep alive whatever he orders first in blockers. It also keeps the door open to double locking a Thalia's Lieutenant, which I might as well do anyways, unless he's potentially able to get it up to 5 counters, which is dependent on what he plays in his main phase. The big hope is that he doesn't have anything disruptive, and that I can get a massive cranial plating hit in with Vault Scourge, and that would put me well out of racing range. White, blue, and red. So he does have the Mantis Rider. Okay. So I'm not beating a Reflector Mage, so I'm not going to think about a Reflector Mage being vialed in. So I'm going to double block the Mantis Rider and Welding Jar whatever he orders first. Actually, if he's ordering Ornithopter, no. Yes. No, this is a Reflector Mage. Shit. Uh-oh. That's not good. Is there any chance at all of me surviving? on board. Damn. That was a fast start from him, I have to admit. Reflector Mage is pretty good. This is a match I do not want Bowman Couriers. I'd rather have an Edge Champion, a Galvanic Blast, and maybe a Blood Moon on the play. Should have cited out the Welding Jar. Unfortunately, I have a bug where I can't actually change the submit. Welding Jar is not awful though, because it might save me from a Staticaster on a crucial moment, and it can also just accelerate out things. Yeah, so currently my MTGO has a bug where I can't resubmit decks after sideboarding. That's what you get for trying to play quickly and when it's late at night. Oh hey, my videos are finally uploaded. I imagine the rest of this match is going to, or the rest of this league is going to be recorded when I am more awake than I am now. Oh well, this is a league for experimentation. We'll see how things work out. God, that Reflector Mage. Wow, this hand is awful. Much more acceptable. I would like Darksteel Citadel. Or Opal, but Opal's not particularly good with this hand. Well, not, you know, stand out good. Better than an average land, but still. And as we guessed from the extremely long wait my opponent took in sideboarding, they just went AFK. I would be trimming out this boring part of the video for you, but Google's software editing for YouTube is very not good. I don't know if you've ever tried to use it, but kind of a pain. And my opponent's disconnected. So, what's a topic that I can talk about that's related to Affinity that's interesting? Very recently on Channel Fireball, Paulo Vitor Domaderosa posted an article called The Anatomy of a Land Drop. I highly encourage everyone to read it. That article lays out much more eloquently than I ever could what I've tried to talk about a few times in the past, which is reading the contents of your opponent's hand based on their land drops. And I find that the kind of thinking that he encourages you to do in that article is exactly the kind of thinking that can allow you to get very significant edges in the interactive matchups. Most of your useful edges that you can get in the interactive matchups come from having a very good sense of relative strength of your hand to their hand, and therefore knowing how aggressive or conservative you need to be with your plays. When you are farther ahead, you can be more and more conservative with your plays because your opponent having answers doesn't devastate you quite as hard. When you are further and further behind, you have to be much more aggressive because if your opponent has... I see. Anyways. I got distracted from my train of thought. Hopefully what I was beginning to say is a thought that you can take to its conclusion, though. Anyways, yes. But to summarize, yeah, check out the article by PVDDR because it's an excellent article and it will help you very much in a lot of matchups. It's the kind of thinking you need to train yourself to do. So far, this game is looking up. Kaiselfir Bitter is fine. Steel Overseer. Very tempting. I accept. Doing this on my turn so that if he has, is it Staticaster, I do not get punished for it. Oh no. I just realized I totally opened myself up to a meddling mage. Ugh. Why did I do that? Oh well. Just gonna plan to chump with Signal Pest. If he has the bounce guy, the Reflector Mage, I don't think I die to it. And then I should have lethal with the Ink Moths next turn, unless he has a chump blocker in the air. So he reflectors the Signal Pest. But 10, 11, I'm only dead if he had another creature. He needed another human to kill me, but apparently he didn't have a 1-drop. So now I should have lethal with the Ink Moths. Yes, that is what happened. Not a fan of the Blood Moon. Go for a Whip Flare. Decent against many things. Seems okay. Once again, I submitted with a Welding Jar inside of it. So here's my pro tip after having played tons and tons of Affinity. When it's 2 AM, you are so much worse at playing Magic than when it's not at 2 AM. Unfortunately, I do most of my recordings at late at night. This is not a good idea. I should not do this thing. My apologies. Anyways, hopefully I can still provide some amount of useful information. Fine Hand is fine, but not good. I say not good because it lacks anything with particular punching power, and I don't like weak hands against against humans. Ah, see, that fixes the problem. So I'm playing Cranial Plating now because this way I'm safe against a Kite Sail Freebooter or Meddling Mage. Or also Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, is less effective. See, because if I had played Ravager or Vault Scourge, I would have gotten the plating taken away from me, and that would be all kinds of disaster. So now what I can do is I can play Spire, Ravager, Scourge, equip Plating and Bash, or I could play a Master of Ethereum. I'm gonna get the Vault Scourge out there now, instead of getting the Ornithopter hit in, because this way I can suit up the Vault Scourge with a plating and get a massive life swing, and that should put me outside of racing range, which is the biggest concern against his current draw. Okay. How does this attack make sense? The only way this attack makes sense is if he has a Vithian Renegades or Reflector Mage and is trying to trade the Freebooter for the Vault Scourge. I am not going to accept the risk because sure, he could be bad, but I am not going to make that assumption because I don't have a reason to. And there was the Reflector Mage, which means if I had blocked, I would have killed this, but traded the Vault Scourge for it, and the Vault Scourge is way more valuable than the Card Sale Freebooter with nothing under it. Now I get to play these two things, suit up the Vault Scourge, and bash for 8. And now I'm winning the race by a mile. So I'm not the one who has to be worried about getting beat down. Champion of the Parish, sure. Not interested in trying to block or trade in any sort. Play out a master. And he doesn't do anything to it, so here I should just be able to attack with everything and win. It strikes me as possible that I might have been able to win this turn if I had held up 2 colored mana for the instant speed equip on cranial plating, but honestly, whether or not I could have literally won last turn is irrelevant because I have functionally won this turn anyways, and I used a safe line to do it. And GG's opponent. Sorry for not the best commentary, but as I said, it's late. And now that my previous league is uploaded, I will go to sleep and finish this league another time. Thank you for watching.